The controversy surrounding national politics does not seem to die down as main opposition CPN-UML has moved the top court, objecting to the process that was adopted to appoint the chief minister in Koshi province and subsequently the new government. The UML has called the provincial speaker's vote a blatant disregard of the constitution. Likewise, in another political development, the main opposition is trying to exert more pressure on the Prime Minister, calling for his resignation, pertaining to the Premier's remarks surrounding the Indian interference in the country's politics. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Nepal and India reach an agreement to present DPR on the much-touted Panchesar multi-purpose project within 3 months, a 3-point agreement to move ahead with the project at the earliest. Properties worth billions of rupees in the name of Nepal Trust fails to be used, not utilized in education, health and tourism in the absence of policies. The Dutch government collapses after failing to reach a deal on restricting immigration, triggering new elections in the fall. Prime Minister Rutte wanted to limit the flow of asylum seekers. And 23-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic advances into the Wimbledon 4th round, while Rinka and Murray crash out, world number 1 Swiatek through to the next round. Half a dozen bills have been left unattended at the Parliament as main opposition CPN-UML has continued with its obstructions at both the houses. Bills related to loan recovery, finance and appropriation, among others, have been pending at the lower house. UML's obstruction has left the ordinance related to loan sharks invalid, while the bill related to money laundering and conflict period are also likely to be affected. Preparations also look weak for the Federal Civil Service Bill that the government must introduce in the ongoing session of the Parliament. Opposition parties have been obstructing the Parliament, demanding for resignation from the Prime Minister, saying that the Premier's statement that Sardar Pritam Singh had lobbied with Delhi for his appointment to the post of executive head had hurt the national sovereignty. Meanwhile, Minister for Finance Prakash Charan Mahat has called for the opposition parties for a dialogue in order to pave way for the session to resume. While UML has said the Premier's resignation is the main way forward, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has said it was inappropriate that the sessions had been obstructed. Likewise, Rashtriya Swatantra Party, that is also in the opposition, has said that the obstruction must end and that the Prime Minister should get to address the Parliament. Speaker Devraj Kimire had claimed of finding a consensus between parties. However, his attempts failed on Friday as well. Hearing on several writs filed at the Supreme Court in relation to Lalita Niwas land scam of Balwatar is to be held simultaneously. Joint bench of Supreme Court Justices Ananda Mohan Bhattarai and Hari Prasad Fuyal have ordered for the joint presentation of all writs in the case. The court has also ordered the defendants to be informed about the writs. Sudhir Kumar Shah, Dharma Prasad Gautam and Meen Bahadur Gurung, arrested by the Central Investigation of Bureau of Nepal Police for their alleged involvement in the case, had registered writs with demand of their release. Prior to this, another writ was filed against the Supreme Court's interim order against the arrest of 17 others alleged of involvement in the scam. Nepal and India have reached an agreement to present DPR on the much-touted Panchesar multipurpose project within 3 months. A meeting of the Panchesar Development Authority that ended late yesterday evening has decided to move ahead with the project works. Dinesh Kumar Ghimire, Secretary for Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, and Pankaj Kumar, Indian Secretary for Water Resources, signed the agreement on behalf of their countries yesterday. During Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal's recent India visit, the two governments had reached an agreement to move ahead with the Panchesar DPR. The meeting yesterday signed a 3-point agreement to move ahead with the project at the earliest. The 4th meeting of the experts that comprises 10 members from the two countries is being held in just over a week's time. "22 years have gone by since the massacre of the family of erstwhile King Birendra. Many were curious about the properties of late King Birendra and his family members following the royal massacre on June 1st of 2001. The Nepal Trust was established after Nepal became a federal republic in 2008, which started recording the assets of Birendra and his family members for conservation purpose. However, the trust has not been able to bring billions of properties under its own ownership and use for public benefits. Nearly 21,634 ropanis of land of late King Birendra is now under the ownership of the trust. The trust also holds tens of millions of cash and shares of different companies. The trust can rent these properties and generate revenue, which should then be invested in education, health and tourism sectors as per the law. In the absence of a proper working procedure and plans, assets worth tens of millions of rupees of the trust are being used by a few business houses for a very low rental amount. After a long dispute and legal hassles, the Kathmandu metropolis has rented the Kathmandu Plaza at a monthly rent of 6,050,000 rupees. Thamserku Trading has rented the Darbar Mall of Darbar Marg at an annual fee of 45 million rupees. Gokarna Forest Resort was drawn into controversy for renewal of contract with existing term yet to expire. In such a situation, the government has only expressed commitment of ensuring proper use of land of the Nepal Trust. 15,101 ropanis of land of Birendra and his family members in Dhading have been brought under the trust. The trust also has the control of 4,513 ropanis in Kathmandu, 767 in Chitwan, 457 in Surkhet and 240 ropanis in Nuwakot. Assets located in Dhankuta, Kaski, Bhaktapur, Sindhupalchok and Makwanpur districts have also been transferred to the trust, while some more pieces of land are yet to be transferred. Meanwhile, 1,262,263 shares of Nabil Bank have also been transferred to the trust, among others. However, in absence of a clear work plan of the trust, the properties have remained frozen at banks. Experts are of the opinion that such assets must be invested by formulating projects that can increase the revenue of the country. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why has the government program under poverty alleviation not been effective? Your options are A, no identity of the poor, B, lack of good governance, and C, dwindling entrepreneurship skill. The voting is on. Type in AWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked what should be done to enhance the academic standards of community schools. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
भौतिक संरचना बलियो बनाउनु पर्यो
चाहे त्यो निजी विद्यालय होस् चाहे त्यो नेपाल सरकारको विद्यालय होस् त्यो शिक्षा भनेको समान हुनुपर्छ
म्यानेजमेन्ट नै राम्रो छैन सबभन्दा पहिला कुरा बुकहरु कपीको फ्यासिलिटी हुनुपर्छ जुन गभर्नमेन्टबाट आउँछ
क्वालिफाइड टिचरहरु चाहिँ राख्नुपर्छ
आफ्नो विद्यार्थीले कस्तो पढिरहेछ स्कुलमा गएर अभिभावकहरुलाई पनि सरहरुलाई पनि भन्नु पर्यो
शिक्षण गर्ने अवस्था सुधार भएको छ कि छैन भनेर चाहिँ स्थानीय सरकारले यसको लागि चाहिँ निरीक्षण गर्न पर्यो
राजनीतिक मुक्त शिक्षकहरु हुनु पर्यो
इंग्लिशमा पढाउन सक्ने त्यस्तो टिचर राख्नु पर्छ
अभिभावक शिक्षा दिन एकदम जरुरी देखिन्छ
विद्यार्थीको भविष्यलाई हेर्नु पर्छ
शिक्षक र अभिभावकको बीचमा समन्वय काम गर्नु उत्तम हुन्छ
प्र्याक्टिकल नलेजहरु चाहिँ धेरै दिनु पर्छ क्वालिफाइड टिचरहरु ल्याउनु पर्छ
शिक्षक र अभिभावकको ठूलो योगदान हुन्छ
राजनीतिक क्षेत्र हुनु भएन
शिक्षकलाई एक खालको चाहिँ अपडेट ट्रेनिङको आवश्यक पर्दछ
It's time now for the international news. The Dutch government has collapsed after failing to reach a deal on restricting immigration, which will trigger new elections in the fall. The crisis was triggered by a push by Prime Minister Mark Rutte's conservative VVD party to limit the flow of asylum seekers to the Netherlands, which two of his four-party government coalition refused to support. Rutte's coalition will stay on as a caretaker government until a new administration is formed after new elections, a process which in the fractured Dutch political landscape usually takes months. Tensions came to a head this week when Rutte demanded support for a proposal to limit entrance of children of war refugees who are already in the Netherlands and to make families wait at least 2 years before they can be united. This latest proposal went too far for the small Christian Union and Liberal D66, a social liberal political party, causing a stalemate. The Netherlands already has one of Europe's toughest immigration policies, but under the pressure of right-wing parties, Rutte had for months been trying to seek ways to further reduce the inflow of asylum seekers. Asylum applications in the Netherlands jumped by a third last year to over 46,000, and the government has projected they could increase more than 70,000 this year, topping the previous high of 2015. The United States has authorized the transfer of cluster munitions to Ukraine against the objections of rights advocates who have been calling for a ban on the weapons. The administration of President Joe Biden confirmed the move on Friday, arguing that US-made cluster bombs are safer than the ones Russia is already using in the conflict. The transfer comes as Ukraine pushes on with a counter-offensive against Russian troops in the east of the country. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters cluster munitions would serve as a bridge to supplement conventional artillery as the U.S. ramps up production of regular bombs and shells for Ukraine. Biden later told CNN that it was a very difficult decision on his part, adding that the Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. Rights advocates have slammed the Biden administration's decision, highlighting their threat to Ukrainian civilians. Each cluster bomb can contain hundreds of smaller explosives that spread across a targeted area, but not all of these bomblets detonate on impact. The unexploded bombs, known as duds, can remain embedded in the ground for years, posing a serious danger to civilians, most notably children. While cluster munitions are not banned internationally, more than 120 countries, including most NATO members, have signed on to a convention prohibiting their use. In South Lebanon, cluster munitions fired by Israel during the 2006 war continue to endanger civilians today. The U.S. has destroyed the last of its declared chemical weapons stockpile, bringing to an end a decades-long effort to eliminate the deadly weapons first used on a large scale in World War I. As part of the Chemical Weapons Convention, which was ratified by the U.S. Senate in 1997, the U.S. and other signatories are required to destroy their chemical weapons stockpile by September 30 this year. The U.S. has been destroying its remaining stockpiles at U.S. Army Pueblo Chemical Depot in Pueblo, Colorado, and Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond, Kentucky. Nepal Police Club has started the 7th NVA Prime Minister's Cup with a win in both the women and men's category. The tournament that kicked off this morning at Tripureshwar, the women team of Nepal Police Club registered a comfortable victory over Gandaki province, winning the match 25-10, 25-10 and 25-11. Nepal Police Club, Tribhuvan Army Club, Hongaji New Diamond Sports Club, Nepal APF, Gandaki and Everest Volleyball Technical Center are participating in the Women's Championship. Likewise, in the men's category, Help Nepal Sports Club, Tribhuvan Army Club, Nepal APF, Nepal Police Club, Gandaki Province, Dawali Milan Club and Soilung Bagdhunga Sports Club are participating in the championship.
Swing Tapako service. Usa Bandari ko prahar ra yes sangai Nepal Police Club Sato Pradhan Mantri Cup.
Team Nepal had reached Zimbabwe with the objective of making it to the Super 6 stage of the ICC ODI World Cup Global Qualifiers. That dream, however, did not materialize, as after finishing 8th, the team arrived home yesterday. Performance of Team Nepal at the World Cricket League 2 and the ACC Men's Premier Cup had the fans dreaming of a World Cup qualification. Despite crashing out from the group stage, Nepal's performance at the global qualifiers was satisfactory. Team Nepal played Test nations for the first time in one-day internationals. Despite suffering defeats against Zimbabwe, West Indies and the Netherlands, Nepal secured a win over the United States of America. Nepal won against the United Arab Emirates in the playoffs, but lost to Ireland and finished 8th in the tournament. Despite skipper Rohit not happy with his performance, coach Monty Desai appreciated his leadership role. Team Nepal were alleged of struggling with short balls throughout the tournament. Fielding was another department where the performance failed to meet expectations. However, the partnership between Kushal Bhurtel and Asif Sheikh against Zimbabwe, along with the performance of Sandeep Lamichhane and Gulshan Jha against Ireland and the bowling of Karan Casey were defined as the highlights by coach Desai. Players of the squad definitely were provided with a precious learning opportunity while playing Test nations. The opportunity has further enthused the young players of the team. Team Nepal will now feature in the ACC Emerging Teams Asia Cup in Sri Lanka, which begins on 14th of July. However, spinner Lamichhane and all-rounder Dipender Singh Airi are set to miss the tournament as they will play in the Franchise League Global T20 Canada. And that is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.